Hello, my name is Alexei. I'm philosopher, scientist, educator, polymath, and musician, and other stuff. I wrote a book, Critiques of Egoism, and I want to share it with people. It's about ethics, about practical ethics. Um, I hope I can rely on you, and maybe some of viewers would translate this book to their languages, and I would spread this book. I don't know if I would make this book licensed so that online versions cannot be distributed. I guess someday that would be the case, but now it's free. My I love this price, free. So this book is contains of 100 principles how to become conscious, mindful person. This is fourth part. Yeah. Please consider watch other parts. And let's begin. I would read it out loud, but sorry if I pronounce something stupidly incorrect. English is not my mother tongue, so suffer. Point number 40. Many people do not know how to resist the influence exerted. Many people don't know how to say no. If you make direct sales and the person agreed to buy something that is not necessary, then if you are accused of doing something harmful. Do not refer to the fact that people make their own purchase decision. Maybe it's lost of translation. There are situations when a person is afraid to say no because they are afraid of losing their income, contract, or source of livelihood. Situation: a person has subordinate relationships, child, student, employee, soldier. It seems to me that a conscious and conscientious and conscientious. Wait, please, sorry. And good faith. It seems to me that a conscious and good faith attitude towards a person includes saying out loud his right to refuse. Point number 41. By acting in bad faith, By acting in a bad faith, a person can achieve certain goals faster, avoiding compliance with rules or norms. However, there is an alternative. Create realistic goals, build an action plan, and systematically work productively to achieve them. This also leads to the achievement of goals, and it does not cause feelings of guilt or fear of being exposed. As Aristotle says, we become virtuous through action. After all, no action makes a person virtuous, but only habit and constant practice. Perhaps the quote is distorted. And also there is chatting with ChatGPT. I don't know if something of this is reliable. I guess no. Point number point number 42. Unfair actions can allow you to avoid responsibility or your mistakes, shifting the blame to others. However, there is an alternative. Open recognition of your mistakes and responsibility for your actions. This strengthens the trust of others and personal reputation, as well as promotes personal growth and development. As Confucius says, he cannot be good who does not correct his mistakes. Through manipulation or deception, you can gain access to resources, opportunities, or information that would otherwise be unavailable. However, there is an alternative. Using hard work, education, and perseverance to gain access to resources and opportunities. This leads to respect and long-term professional connections. Point number 44. A person can gain self-affirmation through a sense of power and control over the situation when it is possible to circumvent the rules or moral norms. Let me see. It is possible. Avoid, commit, not care, possible to circumvent the rules. I don't know these words, so I need to check it twice. Well, that is, yeah, circumvent. When it is possible to circumvent the rules or moral norms. However, there is an alternative. Strengthen your self-esteem through achievements that match your values and principles. Self-affirmation can be based on moral integrity and inner peace. Point number 45. Sometimes please let me made some edits. Because I can't stand it using words that I'm not using. I hope, yep. Yep. Point number 45. Sometimes bad faith decisions allow you to avoid time-consuming or unpleasant tasks, simplifying your life. However, there is an alternative. Accepting challenges and opportunities for growth, solving difficulties through perseverance and determination builds self-confidence and promotes the development. All the points about profits of being bad faith wrote ChatGPT. So, for example, from 42 to point 54. These thoughts are not mine, but ChatGPT helped me to formulate this. Thank you, ChatGPT. Now we can all become less egoistic. Through deception or manipulation, you can create the appearance of success or well-being in front of others. However, there is an alternative: achieving real success through honest effort and contribution. This brings real satisfaction and recognition that will be sustained and well-earned. Point number 47. Unfair actions can open access to privileges that are not available to others, for example, receiving undeserved recognition. However, there is an alternative: privileges earned through work, honesty, and contribution to society. Such privileges will be backed up by the respect of others. Think about it. In some circles or groups, bad behavior can be approved or even praised, which brings social recognition. However, there is an alternative: build your reputation on honesty, integrity, reliability, maturity, and authenticity, internal integrity. This will lead to recognition and respect on the part of the absolute majority of people, without reference to the values of a marginal destructive social group. Point number 49. A person may have a sense of freedom and play with their own rules, ignoring generally accepted norms and laws. However, there is an alternative. Develop and adopt your own moral principles based on ethical systems, as well as using the principles as a guide for life. This will give you an inner sense of honor, freedom, and autonomy that does not require ignoring the rules. Bad behavior can be a source of adrenaline, especially if it involves the risk of being caught. However, there is an alternative. Participate in challenging and exciting but ethical projects, sports or activities that provide some level of adrenaline without violating the principles. You can use bad faith methods to avoid direct conflict or confrontation, achieving your goals at the expense of others. However, there is an alternative, open and honest discussion of problems and finding promises. This will help avoid misunderstandings and strengthen long-term relationships. It will also strengthen your personality and train your ability to resolve conflicts later in life. After all, with the help of unfair methods, you will not be able to get away from all conflicts. Think about it. In some situations, acting in bad faith can help maintain or improve your social or professional status. However, there is an alternative. Continuously improve your skills. Improve. Education and professionalism. This will help you to move up the career ladder in an honest way and earn the respect of others. Unfair action, point number 53. Unfair actions can allow you to exploit others' people's weaknesses or trust in your favor. However, there is an alternative, help and support from others to overcome their weaknesses. This will create a trusting and mutually beneficial relationship that brings much deeper satisfaction and long-term benefit in the long run. And most importantly, unfair actions can create a sexual appearance for some people that you are sexually attracted to. However, there is an alternative. Bravely protecting the weak and taking responsibility for others can also create a sexual appearance for some people you are sexually attracted to. Thanks, ChatGPT. I would go on by my own. Let's go. Now my thoughts. Good faith does not equal politeness. With a very polite intonation, some people quite take advantage of other people. With polite speech, people keep back or directly tell lies. There is a president who speaks very politely but creates atrocities. Politeness is just one of the aspects of good faith, not its main part, but it is a part in plain sight, like a facade. It is visible to everyone. But do not forget that appearance is deceptive. Beautiful packaging of goods does not guarantee the perfection of goods. Please wait a minute. I need a pause. Point number 56. Don't think for others. Don't look for hidden, unspoken. Don't think for other people. The small lost in translation, but we can deal with it, I think. I meant don't think you can read other people's minds. Yeah. Don't think you can read other people's mind. So, I guess. Point number 56. Don't think you can read other people's minds. Don't look for hidden, unspoken, implied statements in other people's speech, especially if it is not a face-to-face conversation, but reaction to someone's content. After all, if someone writes something like, "I can no longer tolerate such injustice," then hundreds of comments of such a post will think out for themselves what kind of injustice we're talking about. With an eye on the news that this particular commentator watched today, with an eye, does someone talk like this? Please let me check it twice. There is such phraseologism. Let's keep going. So, if you write and post, "I can no longer tolerate such injustice" in any social network, you can get comments, and commentators would think something subjective for their own eye, with an eye on the news that this particular commentator watched today, with an eye to your own worldview, with an eye on previously exposed ideas by the author of the post, with an eye on your own attitude to the author of the post. In this way, all commentators will write each support of criticism, each understanding the post in their own way. Here's a short statement of my thoughts. We never know the true motives of other people. Please, rely on this advice. Point number 57. Perhaps one of your close friends has a flaw. Something that makes you think twice about how good a person he or she is. And yet you continue to be friends because friendship is more important. So, if the circumstances of your acquaintance were different, you might perceive this person with hostility. Your close friend could become one of the enemies because of certain qualities. Now, some of your enemies might have become and look, some of your enemies might have become your friends under different circumstances. You know? Point number 58. I will list a number of questions. Try to answer them yourself. There are no correct answers to these questions, and your own answer will be correct. Who should share? Who should we share it with? What should we share? To what extent should we share? How should we share? Why should we share? What happened if you don't share anything with anyone? Yeah, I think this is the end of this part. Thank you for watching. I would ask you to help me to translate this book to other languages, so that people would benefit, society would benefit if more people would more mindful, yep, in more countries, in variety of countries. Please check other parts of my book. I have been writing it, I guess, with about a year, maybe less than a year. I don't know. I didn't put an effort. I just came up with an idea what I should add to the book, and I wrote idea and closed the book, so that 100 times, no, not really 100 times, less than 100 times, I came up with an idea and wrote something. I guess you see how there is no clear structure about the points, articles, not grouped in themes. For example, I talked several times about revenge, parenthood, justice, and money. But I didn't group these themes. Uh, I don't think I should do this. No, I don't should. I don't need to do this. Why not? But I don't need to do this. Well, see you in the next time. Bye!